Now, it's fair to say that it's been a tricky couple of years in Hastings as far as Southern Water is concerned. There have been sewage spillages, the town's centre flooded twice last year, and there was, of course, no water for many businesses during the Jack in the Green festival in May. Perhaps no surprise then that there have been protests on the seafront against Southern Water. But tonight, 4 senior representatives from the company are meeting with 32 local councillors and the public. There it is. It's happening right now, and it started just over half an hour ago. So let's go to Hastings and talk to James Lewis. And James, we gather an apology was made by Southern Water at the beginning of the meeting.
That's absolutely right, Natalie. They've admitted not reaching standards expected. They've also started outlining proposals about how they're going to improve their ways of working. And I actually had the opportunity earlier this afternoon to speak to one of those councillors that's in that building just across the road from me to talk about what she hopes comes out of this meeting. She spoke a lot about compensation, making sure all those people that were affected by the floods get their compensation. And I understand that topic is being talked about right at this very moment as I speak. And she also said to me, look, this is a complex issue, but she believes that water should be back in public ownership.
The reason why it's so important, James, is because we are facing a climate crisis. This problem will only get worse as we see increased rainfall and increased flooding. We're a coastal town. We have the risk of coastal flooding as well as surface water flooding. We are looking at water outages where we have broken pipes, which is what happened on our bank holiday weekend, and we had 30,000 households without water. Water is a right to life. We need water to survive. If water, which is a public good, is in the hands of companies who have profit at the heart of their motivation, then we foresee a real issue with that going forward and a real issue of equality going forward.
So there's Becca, one of the councillors in that building across the road from me, talking to representatives from Southern Water. I also had a chat with another guy who's been right at the heart of this story, John Bowness. He's the Hastings Town Centre manager. We spoke in length, actually, about infrastructure changes that he would like to see, and also the anger, a lot of discussion that there's been around Southern Water's CEO being in line for another bonus.
I know that Southern Water have said in this case, oh, he could have got 5 times as much if we'd met all of our targets. I don't think that's any solace to to the local restaurateur who's just had to close his doors after 6.5 years because the last 3 water incidents have just basically been the final nails in his business's coffin. He is now out of the business. So yeah, I mean, I think that's something for the chief executive of Southern Water to sleep on. I think around the government doing a complete root and branch review of legislation around water companies, and particularly around how they are overseen. Because right now there are so many different organisations who look at, you've got Ofwat looking at the pricing, you've got the DWI looking at how clean our drinking water is, you've got the Environment Agency looking at sewage going into the sea. So you've got all these different organisations who are essentially breathing down the necks of the water companies, but they're not breathing hard enough.
And it's worth saying that obviously we have approached Southern Water for comment. At this stage they haven't given us an interview, but we will be hopefully speaking to them later this week. And this is a complex issue, as John was talking about there, and this discussion, this debate about public and private ownership and the future of the water company, Southern Water in particular, will go on. But people here in Hastings, they want a resolution and to make sure this sort of thing does not happen again in the area where they live.
James in Hastings, thank you.